mirror on the wall.
We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story just because, like, we cast a guy in the movie.
My queen, Snow White.
I know that there is also another Snow White that I think you guys want me to talk about. I am sorry that has not been addressed sooner, but I just want to say, from me, that's really all I can say. Which honestly kind of seems like maybe this path that I'm taking right now is the path that Rachel Zegler should have taken instead of just running her mouth for the last.
Is extraordinarily woke, but she's woke in a way that's quite deranged.
All right, some entertainment news. Snow White releases today. It's currently sitting at 46% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's the Critic score. So, you know, this thing has to be really, really bad. I mean, the critics were looking for any excuse to give it a high score. They know that conservatives don't like Rachel Zegler. They know that Zegler, you know, is a good little feminist. This Snow White version is woke and feminist and progressive. So mainstream film critics want to like a movie like this. It checks all the narrative boxes, it checks all the political boxes, and yet they're still panning it. Like, even they couldn't find a way to pretend that this piece of trash is anything but a piece of trash.
The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird. So we didn't do that this time. And we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince. The cartoon was made 85 years ago, and therefore it's extremely dated.
In Hollywood, casting changes and new styles often spark strong discussions among fans. The latest story is about a film called Snow White. Many viewers were surprised by the film's poor earnings. Theaters quickly became empty, and the movie did not make the money expected. It soon became known as one of the biggest box office failures in recent times.
Do me a favor, go to IMDb and just type in Snow White IMDb, okay? Watch this here, folks. Go to Snow White. Look at the reviews.
1.6. Was that?
No, look at how many reviews there is. Zoom in if you could, Rob. Does it show you or no?
562 user reviews.
No, that's not the one, Rob. It's if you go, there's 163,000 reviews, Rob. 163,000 reviews. I just texted it to you.
To the top right, maybe, Rob?
Yeah, right there. Zoom in right there. That's it. 163,000 rating, of which it got 1.6, not out of 5. Like, you know, sometimes you go to McDonald's, it's 1.6 out of 5.
Yeah.
1.6 out of 10.
Rachel Zegler, a popular Latina actress known for her role in West Side Story, was originally chosen to represent Snow White. Later, changes in the project led the team to pick Brett Cooper instead. Brett Cooper is a well-known conservative YouTuber and host with The Daily Wire. She was selected to star in another version called Snow White and the Evil Queen. This decision created a lot of discussion and divided the fans.
The more that y'all try to make me hate Rachel Zegler, the more that it's not gonna happen. Rachel Zegler has been getting dragged all across social media, and multiple articles coming out trying to say that she is the reason why Snow White is not doing well.
The main issue is the film's very poor performance in theaters. Even with support from a major studio, the movie had problems from the start. It earned about $43 million during its opening weekend. Many thought that amount would lead to success. However, in only a few days, fewer people went to see the film. By the second weekend, earnings dropped by almost 70%, and most theaters were nearly empty. After 2 weeks, the movie made just over $120 million worldwide, which did not meet the high expectations for a big-budget film.
The most rated movies on IMDb. What are the worst rated movies on IMDb?
Probably Ishtar or something like that, going back.
Bottom of what is it? I mean, I'm going through some of these lists here. 160-something thousand reviews. Maybe it hasn't updated yet. With a 1.6 stars. Absolutely embarrassing for somebody. Did you see the clip of her at the theater watching it by herself? Have you seen that one or no? I don't know if you saw that or not.
I saw a brief little...
Yeah. Adam, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I think there's a common theme here. I think the Democratic Party and Disney are attached at the hip. So I think there's a common thread with approval ratings and the stock price of what's happened with the Democratic Party and with Disney. You know the famous phrase, go woke, go broke? Right now, Disney, their big blockbuster movie has plummeted, much like the Democratic approval ratings that reached, I think, an all-time low at, 27%?
The movie's failure is seen by those in the film industry as a major blow to the studio. They believe that neither the message message nor the style of the movie resonated with viewers. According to some experts, the poor performance is not just an indication of a single film's issues, it may also make studios reconsider how they update classic stories for modern viewers. During the controversy, Rachel Zegler openly shared her opinions. Instead of taking responsibility for her role in the film's failure or staying quiet, she blamed outside factors. She especially pointed to the new adaptation with Brett Cooper as causing confusion in the market. In several public messages, she questioned the timing and decision-making behind both versions of Snow White. According to her, the film did not do well for reasons beyond weak storytelling or marketing. She pointed to other influences as the cause. Critics have argued that by blaming Brett Cooper and the Daily Wire, Zegler avoided facing the issues directly. Many fans expected her to recognize any mistakes that might have contributed to the film's outcome. Instead, she stood by her opinions on updating classic stories and defended her long-held ideas about giving Snow White a fresh take for today's world.
Really happened with Snow White? And is there somebody that we can blame? Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot were rarely together. And if they were there, they weren't really communicating, they were taking a picture, and then they were just going their separate ways. People were going, what could have happened on this set to make this so uncomfortable? And then the light bulb moment happened. It is their starkly contrasting views on the Israel-Palestine conflict that they have been extremely vocal about for the last year and a half. Now, Gal Gadot is obviously, she is from Israel, she is staunchly pro-Israel, and Rachel is incredibly pro-Palestine.
It's Hollywood, baby.
And so obviously, in 2025, this is a recipe for disaster.
Brett Cooper is on the opposite side of the discussion. Her casting in the Daily Wire's version surprised many in the industry. Her strategy adheres to the fairy tale's original themes. It emphasizes kindness, love, and inner beauty. Her project is perceived by some as a response to contemporary retellings of the classic tale. Her strategy, though, has caused rifts among fans who disagree about the best way to tell the tale. Cooper recently said that her film celebrates the original values of Snow White. She explained that her version will be a clear retelling of the story without the changes that have upset many longtime fans. For her, the goal is to present the story as it was meant to be told, without extra messages that might seem too political compared to other versions. The argument between Zegler and Cooper comes from their different views about art and storytelling. Fans of Rachel Zegler appreciate that she openly shares her thoughts. They like that she questioned the changes made to a story that many people love. They think her viewpoint is significant in the modern world. Supporters of Brett Cooper, however, appreciate her choice to stick to the original story. They contend that traditional fairy tales are timeless and don't require contemporary adaptations. They believe that the movie's dismal box office performance demonstrates that audiences favor films that prioritize telling a compelling narrative. Both parties concur that the spirit of the original work should be honored in a live-action adaptation of a beloved classic. Regretfully, the overall message, casting decisions, and marketing in this instance fell short of expectations. As a result, the film and its actors have come under heavy fire. The debate is now even more heated thanks to social media. Many viewers expressed their opinions online, with some endorsing Brett Cooper and others defending Rachel Zegler. It's widely believed in the comments that nobody has taken full responsibility for the movie's conclusion. The loss of the film's connection to a straightforward, enjoyable plot disappoints viewers. The original 1937 version of Snow White was made at a different time, according to a lot of online discussions. They argue that any changes to the story, whether by Disney or the Daily Wire, should respect the original material. When either version seems to overlook the core of the story, it leads to more arguments and confusion among fans. The negative outcome of Snow White is not just about one film. Industry experts say that the failure might have lasting effects on the careers of those involved. Rachel Zegler, who has received strong criticism for her public comments, now faces tough questions from film studios. Rumors suggest that her connection to the project and her recent social media activity might make it harder for her to secure future major roles. Brett Cooper now faces a situation where her film is seen as a strong cultural statement. Some say her clear and direct approach could lead to new opportunities, while Others believe that the controversy might later put her on the defensive when new projects come along. The debate over who truly claims the Snow White legacy is expected to continue long after the films open. The film's poor performance is prompting people to rethink how studios choose their stories. Filmmakers now face a choice: continue using current trends or go back to focusing on simply entertaining the audience. The lesson from Snow White is that just following trends and using a politically charged message does not guarantee success. Because of this, some industry insiders and experts believe that future films will need to return to simple storytelling. Instead of doing experiments with modern political themes, studios will choose to focus on what made these fairy tales popular in the first place. This will help both modern adaptations and traditional remakes succeed by concentrating on telling a clear and sincere story. The situation with Snow White is now more than just about one film. It reflects today's audience expectations, casting disputes, and the difficulty of balancing new views with a classic tale. Now discussions are continuing online and in film meetings. So both Rachel Zegler and Brett Cooper will need to work to change the negative views about them. Critics, fans, and studios are closely watching their future projects. Many people are expecting that lessons from Snow White will lead to better decisions and versions that respect classic stories while still attracting today's viewers. Every decision regarding message and casting is important in the rapidly evolving film industry, particularly when it comes to tales that a lot of people hold in high regard. Thank you for watching this video. Please share in the comments which version of Snow White you think best captures the original story. Stay tuned for more updates and clear discussions about what is happening in Hollywood today.